Hi, and welcome to this AZ-900 Azure Fundamentals training. In this first lesson, we will answer a simple but critical question. What is cloud computing, and why does it matter for your AZ-900 exam? By the end of this video, you will be able to explain cloud computing using clear, exam-oriented language, and you will recognize the key terms that appear in AZ-900 questions. In this lesson, we will cover three main topics. First, a simple and practical definition of cloud computing. Second, the main benefits and characteristics of the cloud, such as scalability and reliability. Third, a quick overview of the cloud service models, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Let's start with the basic definition. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet, using a pay-as-you-go or consumption-based model. Instead of buying and maintaining physical servers, storage, and network equipment in your own data center, you use resources hosted in the cloud provider's data centers and access them over the internet. In our case, the cloud provider is Microsoft Azure. These computing services include virtual machines and containers, databases, storage, networking, analytics, and many other services. In simple terms, with cloud computing, you rent the IT resources you need, when you need them, from a cloud provider like Microsoft Azure. Now, for the AZ-900 exam, it is not enough to just know the definition. You must also understand the benefits and key characteristics of cloud computing. Let's go through the most important ones that Microsoft usually highlights. First, scalability. Scalability means you can increase or decrease resources when demand changes. For example, if your application suddenly has many more users, Azure can scale up the number of instances to handle the extra traffic. When demand goes down, you can scale back down. Second, elasticity. Elasticity is closely related to scalability. It means that resources can automatically scale out when demand increases, and scale back in when demand decreases. Elasticity helps you optimize costs because you do not pay for unused capacity for long periods of time. Third, high availability. High availability means that your applications and services remain accessible, even when there are failures in part of the system. Azure provides multiple regions and availability zones, so workloads can keep running even if there is a hardware problem or a failure in a specific data center. Fourth, reliability. Reliability is the ability of a system to recover from failures and continue operating. In the cloud, reliability is achieved using redundancy, backup, and disaster recovery features provided by the platform. For the exam, remember that reliability is about keeping the service running and quickly recovering from issues. Fifth, agility. Agility means you can quickly provision and deprovision resources. You can test ideas, create new environments, and deploy solutions much faster than in traditional on-premises environments. This supports faster innovation and shorter time to market. Sixth, global reach. With Azure, you can deploy applications in many different regions around the world. You can place your applications closer to your users to reduce latency and improve performance. This global distribution is one of the strong points of major cloud providers. Seventh, consumption-based model. In cloud computing, you typically pay only for what you use. This is called a consumption-based or pay-as-you-go model. Instead of large upfront investments in hardware, organizations pay for the resources they actually consume, for the time they use them. This is a key concept for AZ-900. Cloud changes how companies plan and manage IT costs. You do not need to memorize every definition word for word. But for the exam, you must be able to recognize these terms in the question text and understand the idea behind each one. Before we finish this lesson, let's quickly introduce three important concepts that will appear many times in AZ-900. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, or IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, gives you virtualized computing resources such as virtual machines, storage, and networks. You manage the operating systems and applications, while the cloud provider manages the physical infrastructure and the virtualization. Platform as a service, or PaaS, provides a managed platform where you deploy your applications without managing the underlying infrastructure. The provider takes care of servers, operating systems, and runtime, and you focus on your application and data. Software as a service, or SaaS, delivers complete applications over the internet. Examples include Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365. Users simply access the application through a browser or client, and the provider manages everything behind the scenes. In the next lessons, we will go deeper into these service models and connect them with concrete examples in Azure. For now, you should remember that they represent different levels of responsibility shared between the cloud provider and the customer. Let's quickly recap what you learned in this lesson. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet, using a consumption-based pricing model. It provides key benefits and characteristics such as scalability, elasticity, high availability, reliability, agility, global reach, and a pay-as-you-go approach to costs. You also saw a high-level overview of the main service models, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. These concepts are the foundation for everything else in the AZ-900 exam. If you understand them well, many other topics will be easier to learn. In the next video, we will explore cloud service models in more detail and see how they map to real Azure services. If you are following this as a complete AZ-900 course, make sure to continue to the next lesson. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.